Breaking news tonight from the volatile waters of the Persian Gulf. We have received urgent reports of an attack on a United States aircraft carrier. Details are still emerging, but sources indicate the USS Abraham Lincoln, currently on patrol in the region, was targeted earlier today. Initial reports suggest a swarm of high-speed drones, possibly launched from a nearby coastal area, approached the carrier's strike group. The ship's advanced defense systems were immediately activated, and according to early statements from military officials, multiple hostile drones were successfully intercepted and neutralized. Videos circulating on social media, which we are working to verify, appear to show plumes of smoke and defensive fire lighting up the sky near the massive warship. Eyewitnesses on commercial vessels in the vicinity have described hearing loud explosions and seeing intense military activity. Pentagon officials have confirmed an incident occurred but are cautioning against speculation. A spokesperson stated the USS Abraham Lincoln and its crew are safe. The strike group successfully defended against an unprovoked attack. We are assessing the situation and will take all necessary actions to defend U.S. forces and interests in the region. No group has yet claimed responsibility for this brazen assault, but it comes at a time of heightened tensions in the Persian Gulf. This is a major escalation and a direct challenge to naval forces operating in these critical international waters. The international community is watching closely, with many world leaders calling for restraint and a de-escalation of hostilities to prevent a wider conflict. We are monitoring this situation as it develops, and will bring you more information as soon as it becomes available. The safety and security of naval personnel are the top priority, and the full capabilities of the U.S. military are on high alert. Stay tuned for further updates on this developing story. Thank you for watching. Breaking news from the Persian Gulf tonight, where conflicting reports are emerging about a major incident involving the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier. Details are still developing, but here's what we know so far. Early this morning, reports began circulating about a possible attack on the American carrier group as it was transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Initial, unconfirmed accounts suggested the carrier was struck by one or more missiles, causing significant damage and casualties. Social media was quickly flooded with dramatic but unverified images of smoke billowing from a large naval vessel. Washington has been quick to respond. A Pentagon spokesperson has strongly denied that the USS Abraham Lincoln was hit. They stated that all U.S. naval assets in the region are safe and accounted for. The official line is that these reports are nothing more than a coordinated disinformation campaign designed to sow chaos and create instability. They did acknowledge that a training exercise was underway in the area, which might explain some of the confusion. However, Tehran is telling a very different story. Iranian state media is claiming a successful military operation. They alleged their Revolutionary Guard naval forces conducted a defensive action against what they termed provocative maneuvers by the U.S. carrier group. While they haven't explicitly confirmed a direct hit on the carrier itself, they're hailing the incident as a major victory, showcasing their capability to challenge U.S. naval power in the Gulf. So, we have two completely opposite narratives. The U.S. insists it's all fake news, a deliberate attempt to mislead. Iran claims a successful military engagement. Right now, it's impossible to independently verify either side's claims. The truth likely lies somewhere in the middle. Was there a close call? A misfire during a tense standoff? Or is this purely a war of words, fought on social media and news channels? What is clear is that tensions in the Persian Gulf are at a boiling point. An incident like this, whether real or manufactured, pushes two powerful nations closer to the brink. We will continue to follow the story as it develops, and bring you updates as soon as we get them. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for the latest. Imagine this scenario: a U.S. aircraft carrier, a symbol of American power projection, is attacked. This isn't a movie plot. It's a possibility that military strategists and global leaders constantly consider. What would happen in the immediate aftermath? Let's break it down. First, chaos. The markets would plummet, oil prices would skyrocket. A wave of uncertainty would wash over the global economy as everyone braces for what comes next. The immediate U.S. response would be swift and decisive. The president would address the nation, promising a full investigation and vowing to hold those responsible accountable. The message would be clear: an attack on a U.S. carrier is an attack on the United States itself. Diplomatically, the world would hold its breath. The UN Security Council would convene an emergency session. Allies would express solidarity, while adversaries might use the crisis to their advantage, testing American resolve. Phone lines between Washington, Beijing, Moscow, and Brussels would be red hot as leaders try to de-escalate and avoid a wider conflict. The biggest question would be, who did it? Was it a state actor, a rogue nation, or a sophisticated terrorist group? The answer to this question determines everything. If it's a nation-state, we could be on the brink of a major war, potentially involving nuclear powers. The scenarios range from targeted retaliatory strikes to a full-scale military conflict. That could redraw the map of international politics. If it's a non-state actor, the response would look more like a massive global manhunt, an intensified war on terror with unprecedented international cooperation, or perhaps increased division. This single event could trigger a domino effect, leading to new alliances, escalating regional tensions, and a fundamental shift in global security. It's a sobering thought, reminding us how fragile the world's balance of power truly is. What do you think would be the most likely outcome? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into global events. What would happen if a U.S. aircraft carrier was actually hit in combat? This isn't just a military question. It's a scenario with massive geopolitical shockwaves that would ripple across the globe. Let's break down the potential consequences. First, the immediate aftermath. A successful attack on a Nimitz glass carrier, a floating city and a symbol of American power, would be a catastrophic blow to national morale, comparable to historic events that galvanized the nation. The human and financial cost would be immense, but the psychological impact would be even greater. It would shatter the long-held perception of American military invincibility. Next, the U.S. response would be swift and overwhelming. The specific actions would depend on who the attacker was, but we can expect a massive retaliatory strike. This wouldn't be a limited operation. The pressure on any U.S. administration to respond with decisive force would be immense, both from the public and the military establishment. The goal would be to not just punish the aggressor, but to send an unmistakable message to the world that attacking a U.S. carrier crosses a line that cannot be uncrossed. Economically, the global markets would plunge into chaos. An aircraft carrier is a key protector of global trade routes. Its loss and the ensuing conflict would disrupt supply chains, cause oil prices to skyrocket, and trigger a worldwide recession. Confidence in the stability of international waters, underwritten by the U.S. Navy, would evaporate overnight, leading to economic uncertainty on a scale we haven't seen in decades. Finally, the long-term geopolitical landscape would be redrawn. Alliances would be tested. Nations might be forced to choose sides, potentially escalating a regional conflict into a global one. Other major powers might see this as an opportunity to challenge U.S. dominance and assert their own influence, leading to a more fractured and dangerous multipolar world. In short, an attack on a U.S. carrier is a doomsday scenario for global stability. It's a trigger for military escalation, economic collapse, and a fundamental reordering of international power. That's why it remains one of the most feared red lines in modern geopolitics. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis insightful, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into critical global issues. See you next time.